What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something that you like here today, please don't forget to subscribe at some point. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So today, I'm bringing you 5 more fragrances. 5 lesser known hidden gem fragrances, really and truly. Pretty cheap as well. Except for one, doesn't really fall into the cheap category, but the other 4, definitely cheap. And when I say lesser known hidden gem, I tend to forget I have them sometimes too. Let's talk about them. Stay tuned.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
So with the first one's one I actually haven't talked about in quite a long time on the channel. Plan on busting it out here in the next week or so because I was looking through my collection and came across it and totally forgot I had this fragrance. This is one of those rare instances where it's a vetiver fragrance that I enjoy. Totally forgot I have this. It's been so long since I've worn it. It's from DAVIDOFF. It's DAVIDOFF Horizon. That's right, one that's not really talked about. I know they have an extreme version, but get pretty good performance out of this one. It's a very, very fresh citrus and grapefruit up top, and then the cedar and the vetiver don't really give it too earthy of a feel. It comes off very fresh on my skin. A little soapy up top, but that soapiness tends to fade and it gets a little more earthy in the dry down. Solid performer, about a 7-hour fragrance, and you can get them really, really cheap. This is hidden gem cheapie alert right here for DAVIDOFF Horizon. If you're looking for a really good fresh vetiver fragrance that starts to dry down a little bit more earthy, but it starts off fresh, it does actually transition for being a cheap fragrance. One of the lesser known hidden gems from DAVIDOFF for sure. And that's DAVIDOFF Horizon. I haven't tried the extreme, but I can vouch for the original. Very good cheap fragrance. Next is a recent acquisition. I haven't talked about it yet on the channel, and every time I happen to go, because I don't go to the rack stores as much as I used to. I'm just too busy nowadays to really go do any of that. And I went the other day and I happened to come across this, and I just have decided I'm going to grab all of them as I see them because I love the original. I love Extreme Blue. Of course, we're talking about Michael Kors Extreme Speed, because these are cheaper in the rack stores than you can get them online from discounters. They fall in the 40s, close to $50 range for these 4-ounce bottles online, whereas you can get them for $30 for these 4-ounce bottles in the rack stores. And every single one I've gotten, which this is the 3rd one from the line now, 30 bucks, 4-ounce bottle, rack store. And this has a real prominent cardamom. It's very, very woody, kind of on the darker side. It's very herbaceous, but a dark herbaceousness. And the cypress really stands out to me on this one. This is going to be a fantastic cheapie for the fall. I feel like it's a little too heavy to wear right now. Yeah, I've worn a few heavier fragrances recently in the hot weather, but I really feel like this is going to shine in the fall, even early fall when it's still kind of warm outside. I say kind of warm, I'm in South Texas. It's still hot, but once I can get to where the temperatures are below 80, I feel like this thing's really, really going to shine. I wore it the other day. I've tested it twice on my arm, and I got to tell you guys, I want to smell it again. I got to tell you, if you're looking for a darker green woody fragrance that you can get pretty cheap, that lasted quite a while on my skin, I didn't really clock it, but it seemed like it just went for hours and hours. Keep an eye out at the rack stores for Michael Kors Extreme Speed. Kind of a hidden gem, to say the least, because nobody really talks about it. I finally got my hands on it, and my first impressions, very, very good on this fragrance. Hidden gem alert. Keep an eye out for it. Next, I've featured this fragrance on the channel before. I absolutely love the scent on this one. If you're looking for a subtle, well put together designer fragrance, this is a fantastic choice if you like plum. Not an overly sweet plum, but a beautiful, well put together plum for sure. And that's Gucci. Made to measure. Yep, I've talked about this one on the channel before. It's subtle. It's not a powerhouse. Decent longevity, 5 to 7 hours depending on your skin. But the scent on this one is just gorgeous. It really is. It's fresh without being overly fresh. It's elegant without being too classy. It's fun without being too casual. And it's a decent price, in the 40s-ish range for a 90 ml like this. Big, stout, heavy base glass. The bottles are awesome for these Gucci fragrances. This is the one I was saying is the most expensive on the list. This isn't really in the cheapie territory. It's in the affordable territory for sure. Depending on how you bracket a cheap fragrance, this could definitely fall into it. But this is one that doesn't get a fair shake because it doesn't really project much. I'm pretty confident that's why nobody really talks about it and mentions it a whole lot. But the scent on this one is beautiful. And if you're the type that doesn't want something to just scream and pronounce, hey, I'm here, when you walk into a room, this might be that fragrance for you. And in my opinion, one of the better subtle fragrances from a designer standpoint, because it doesn't smell like a bunch of other things. It's kind of a unique DNA with the plum and the woods and so on and so forth. Definitely sample this one if you can. I think it's a fantastic fragrance, and that's Gucci, made to measure. Next, this is actually the newest release from Samy Andraus Fragrances, and I'm excited to tell you about it. I did do a little brief first impressions written description on Instagram the other day when I got it in, and I've been eager to talk about it on video. I've been spraying it on my arm and testing it quite a bit. I'm going to be doing a full wearing and a full review here real soon. This is called Summer Peach from Samy Andraus Fragrances. As you can see, peach, champagne, black woods. Strange note breakdown, right? Strange note breakdown. But I can tell you, it smells almost like a peach tea. You definitely get the peach and the champagne up top. But as it starts to dry and those darker woods come in, it really starts to give off kind of a tea smell, like a peach tea. It's beautiful. It's so fresh, extremely unisex, and as you can see, didn't leak anywhere. No leaking out the atomizer or any of that, because he has fixed that issue. So now, when you purchase from Samy, it comes in the box still, but the atomizer comes separate. There's actually a cap threaded on, and your cap and atomizer combo is off to the side, and this is sealing it. So no leaky atomizers, no leaking out, you know, the stem, anything like that. That has been remedied with this little cap, and it's pretty cool when you get it. It's just a little bottle capped off and you put it together. It's actually pretty cool. A nice little remedy that didn't cost him much without having to change his presentation. Kudos, Samy. And I gotta tell you guys, it does smell really, really good. It smells, like I said, that dry down really makes it smell like a nice peach tea. Very refreshing drink on a very warm summer's day. Your lady will probably steal some sprays from you because it's extremely unisex and extremely refreshing. And then last, but most certainly not least, hidden gem cheapie alert for sure. When you find this one in the rack stores or even online, this is one of the better fragrances to get from this house. And it's a cheapie house. They get real cheap at discounters. It's from Penguin Reserve. This is probably my favorite Penguin fragrance. This is a sweet spice, almost an Invictus type of smell in the opening without too much bubblegum. And a lot of spices and woods in the dry down. It's very versatile. It's not some groundbreaking scent that you've never smelled before. It's going to be familiar, but it's going to be a lot cheaper than what you're going to smell that it kind of reminds you of different things. This is going to be a much cheaper version. Decent performer too. 6 to 8 hours depending on your skin. I get about 7 to 8 hours, believe it or not, with this super cheap fragrance because the composition just wears right on my skin. It just does. Some people may only get 4 or 5. Skin chemistries are different from everybody, but this cheapie tends to perform very well. And you know me, I love my spicy fragrances, and this is definitely a sweet spicy fragrance that is flying just under the radar. Some people know about it, but a lot don't. Not enough people have tried this from Penguin. You know I tend to use Penguin Ice Blue out the shower a lot. Well, this is definitely a good casual, even work scent, or even on into the evenings on a budget that people around you are going to enjoy the smell of, and you're definitely going to like the way you smell. Penguin Reserve. Be on the lookout for it if you're looking for a steal in the $15 price bracket. Well guys, that was my 5, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried these already? How many of you have never tried them before and are eager to check them out? There's always places to find them. I'll have links in the description below if you want to check out some of these things, Samy's new releases, stuff like that. The V-neck I'm wearing, for example, True Classic Tees, there's a link in the description below if you want to try some of these extreme. I mean, these things are super, super comfortable the way the fabric is. If you want to check them out, there's a 10% off discount code with a link down below. Feel free to check them out. If not, that's okay too. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 5 that I discussed here today, give them a spray now. Who knows? Might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.
Repeat, this is not a drill.